celebration of last evening. I see some of the same faces. And it's awfully, awfully nice to welcome you here to this ceremony which continually grows every year to now we have close to 150 people in attendance. And it's a wonderful experience that you come here to honor our valedictorian and our salutatorian. So to begin the program, if you please stand, let's pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first speaker is class president Justin Pietrello. Justin.
I want to thank everyone for coming here this afternoon to honor Anna McPherson and Maura Bliss for all their achievements through the course of our high school career. Secondly, I want to express how much of an honor and a pleasure it is to be standing up here speaking in regards to the both of them. I can't think of any two people in this entire school who are more deserving of this award than these two bright and talented young women. Through the passing years, I've witnessed Anna and Lauren not only work effectively together and individually, but they've actually took time out of their busy and progressing schedules to encourage the growth of others. In September, Anna will enroll into Stanford and Lauren is Colby. They will undoubtedly continue to win the respect of their peers and mentors and astound them with their unique talents. I wish them the best of luck in all their future endeavors and thank them to no end for all their contributions they've made to the class. Thank you.
Great job. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our Assistant Superintendent of Schools. It's her first time I think she's had the pleasure of addressing our group of students and faculty. This is June Gilch.
I want to thank you for including me in the opportunity to celebrate your success and your hard work. We know that it was a lot of hard work and effort, and it manifests itself here today in recognizing your effort. But I also want to acknowledge that having seen you several times at school committee meetings, I know that you're very well-rounded young ladies, and certainly are looking forward to great success in life, and certainly represent Attleboro very proudly. Thank you.
Every time at this time of the year, I start to think of a person named Harold Barbarian. I doubt that many of you, if any of you, know who Harold Barbarian is or was. Maybe some of the Blades, the Blisses, and those of us who have been around a little bit remember him. It was in 1988 when then Superintendent Joe Rappa and Principal Robert Bray began this valedictorian, salutatorian process to honor our top two students. So we're in our 11th year. We started in the little lobby outside the superintendent's office, and look to what we are grown and are growing every year. It's important that their fellow students and the underclassmen see what happens when you work as diligently as Lauren and Anna. I often think that we could rename this thing the Valedictorian, Salutatorian Induction Ceremony at Barbarian Square, because it is he who did this, and it is he who was involved in this Hyman Fine, this Freeman Hall trophy from the archives. And we try to include some of the archives in this display. If you go to the superintendent's lobby, you see that there's a large bookcase filled with memorabilia. And Ms. Spatcher certainly is a student of that. And that was all instituted by Mr. Barbarian. We could also call this the Barbarian valedictory salutatory induction ceremony. Regardless, I believe and strongly urge those who run this program in the future to remember that it was Mr. Barbarian, through his drive and love for the community, who started this event. Now, these plaques began in 1881 to 1893. So there's quite a history here. There's quite a legacy. Something happened in the archives, and then we start again in 1904 and continue until today. So when these youngsters place their plaque, it will continue the heritage for one more year. And what a wonderful memento, what a wonderful tradition for our students, our faculty, our grandparents, and in the future years, those who will be honored right here. As you can see, there's a long line of empty plaques. So maybe your grandchildren, students, will be here because there are many, many years to be filled in. I think it's a way for us to continue the tradition that Harold Barbarian started by continuing to have our valedictory and our salutatory students place their name on plaques. So what I'd like to do now, before we present a memento of this occasion, and we have the two young ladies, it's always an interesting thing to see how people can put in those little screws in that hole. I'd like to call upon Mr. Ed McCarthy, Office of Graduate Opportunity, who certainly assists me in many of the things, and certainly in this activity. Mr. McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. Rosell. Even though my name is not on the program as an official speaker, in the past couple of years, Mr. Rosell has asked me to say a few words at this ceremony. In preparation for this, I have looked at the plaque behind us on a number of occasions, and I've contacted a number of previous recipients to find out where they are today. One of them, or two of them, happen to be with us today. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Mrs. Greta Johnson, who is Anna McPherson's grandmother and valedictorian of the class of 1942. I also see the name of a very famous assistant basketball coach and cheerleader presently at Attleboro High School. This valedictorian of the class of 1959 is also a distinguished member of the Attleboro High School Social Studies Department, Ms. Diane Spatcher. And if you go to any of the basketball games, you know what I'm talking about. A couple of years ago, I contacted Dean Fowley, class of 1969. Dean has his PhD in economics, and I believe it's from Princeton. Dean was working as a consultant on economic affairs at the White House in Washington. Not to be outdone is Dean's younger sister, Pam, valedictorian, class of 1971, PhD, I believe from Yale, and also a consultant at the White House. The salutatorian in that same year, 1971, was Mark Johnson, Anna McPherson's uncle. Last year, I contacted the valedictorian of the 25-year class, and I'm happy to report that Mrs. Jane Casey Singer from the class of 1973, now living in London, is a 1977 graduate of Harvard with a doctorate from Harvard in 1991. Jane's focus of study is the history of art in India, Nepal, and Tibet. This year, I tracked down the valedictorian of the class of 1974, Dr. Diane Fountas. Dr. Fountas graduated from Dartmouth College and Dartmouth Medical School. She's recently been named by Connecticut Magazine as one of the top pediatricians in the state of Connecticut. And she has a picture on the front of Connecticut Magazine. Laura and Anna, I know you have a great future. Lauren, in my letter of recommendation to college last December, I wrote, "There will be a time in my life, perhaps 10 years from now, when I meet Lauren Bliss, either in Attleboro or in Harwich on Cape Cod. I know we will sit down to share, maybe over a dish of chocolate chip ice cream, obviously Bliss Brothers. And I know Lauren will be a productive, industrious, exciting young woman, educated and focused. I will know then, as I know now, and even when I knew Lauren in the 6th grade, that Lauren Bliss is special, and I'm happy to write that I knew her way back when." Anna, as you know, in my letter of recommendation for you, I chose a format whereby I wrote a short letter to your mother, whom I knew as a junior high school student at Brennan Middle School many years ago. In that letter, I wrote, and I'll quote, "Yes, Christine, in the counselor form, which accompanies these thoughts, I will check the column, which indicates that Anna is one of the best students I have ever met in my brief 36 years as an educator. I check this column with ease, because I believe Anna McPherson is as accomplished, likable, and wholesome as any student in America." Lauren and Anna, thank you for allowing all of us to share in this special afternoon for you.
And now I'd like to introduce Mrs. Jane Larkin, who is the chair of the Attleboro School.
It's my pleasure to represent members of the Attleboro School Committee, and I certainly carry with me today our congratulations. As people who volunteer their time on the school committee, we certainly value academic achievement, and you too have reached the top of your class, and we congratulate you. We certainly realize that your families also value the importance of education, and we congratulate your families too. You've met the challenges here at Attleboro High School that we provided for you, and we hope that we've prepared you well for the future. We'll be looking forward to a speech, and I hope maybe Mrs. McCarthy will still be here to tell us in the future of your accomplishments. But do share with us how the future goes, and come back and be models for future students, because your names will forever be on our wall, and we'll never forget. Good luck and congratulations.
But one thing that Mr. McCarthy did not, I don't believe he said, was that at your breakfast, your senior class breakfast, the guest speaker is Dr. Diane Fontes. Very, very appropriate. Well, we have a memento, ladies, and we will start with the valedictorian. If you please come forward, Anna. Plaque. Attleboro High School, Anna McPherson valedictorian, class of 1999, May 20, 1990. Congratulations. And Lauren Bliss, if you will. Attleboro High School, Lauren Bliss, Salutatorian, class of 1999, May 20, 1999. Congratulations. on now the ceremonial placement of the plaque. However, I warned you last night that there will have to be something that you'll have to say this morning or this afternoon. So once again, start our valedictorian address by Anna McPherson.
Distinction wouldn't mean nearly as much if I were part of a mediocre class. But luckily, I spent 4 years with one of the most amazing classes ever to go through Attleboro High School. And I feel truly honored to be chosen as representative. I have a lot to thank. First of all the teachers I've had here at Attleboro High School. I've had a lot of them, so I won't try and name them all. But I've learned so much, and I know I'll carry this knowledge with me wherever I go in life. I couldn't have gotten to high school without my friends, especially Laura Bliss, who we've gotten so close over these 4 years, and it's been fun. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my family. I have a really big family, and we're all very close-knit. My grandparents, Grandpa, Papa. My sister, Emily, who's a great friend. She makes me leave for school every morning, but she's great. To my mom, who couldn't be here today, but I know she's watching somewhere, and she's proud of all of us. And especially my dad, who has given me nothing but love and support in all of my endeavors. Thank you.
Laura Bliss. Not too many dry eyes.
I didn't think I was going to cry. I thank everyone for this award. And last night I forgot to thank my brother, so I want to. He has been an inspiration to me too, and I know he's going to do great as he goes through Attleboro High School. And I want to thank my parents especially for everything they've done for me. For running out late at night to make copies for me, and for my mom staying up to help me write papers. And I thank my Grammy, my grandpa, the late Grandma and Grandpa Bliss. And all my friends, they're so supportive. I'm sorry, I'm breaking down. I just can't express the kind of experience I've had here, the kind of friends I've made, and the support I've had. And I'd love to thank all my teachers, say all of their names, but there's a few that I'd like to name especially. The coordinator of the science department, Ms. Salutatorian, she's helped me so much and to point me to my goals. To Mrs. Hebert, my English teacher in sophomore year, for giving me my papers the next day. I know she's an inspiration to other students as well, just for her hard work and her love of the class. I'd also like to thank, he's not here, he's in Florida, Mr. Hanwich. And I'm trying to think. Also, Mrs. Simon's my English teacher from last year, who made me work so hard. It was unbelievable. But I think this honor is more than just GPA, about being smart. I think it's more about improvement. And for my 4 years here, my improvement has been my greatest reward. I remember back in freshman year we had to write for our midterm. Half of our midterm for Mrs. Rosa in English class was, how do you think your writing is? How are you doing? And then the next year, Ms. Hebert made us write the same thing. We had to think back to the year before and how we used to write. And this year, I've looked back to some work from freshman year, and I wanted to trash it. It was so bad. And I thank a lot of my teachers and my parents for my improvement. And that's all. I'm sorry, I broke down.
Well, my allergies have gotten a little bit better. So, Mr. McCarthy, if you will, help with this plate. We don't reverse this.
It's like the car.
Very shortly, we will be concluding this a very warm and touching ceremony. It's by far the most that I have experienced. But before we do, I'd like to bring your attention to this bowl that was presented to the high school by the Scotland Exchange Program that Mr. Glass hosted in the music department recently. It's a beautiful gift, a remembrance. And as you know, 30 of our students will be going over to Edinburgh in August. So I'm sure we will have to find something that's appropriate to cater to them. And it's just a very beautiful thing. If you have a moment, please take a look at it. Well, thank you very much for coming. It's been most enjoyable, as usually are all our end of the year activities. Thank you very much, and have a good day.